On the Range podcast. On the Range.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of On the Range podcast. Wherever you are, thank you for making us part of your day. I am Mark Kelly, and join with me, as always, is my co-host and friend, Rick Hogg from Warhog Tactical. How's it going, buddy?
Man, Mark, it's concerning. We got some
Yes.
very concerning days behind us, days ahead of us. The recent assassination attempt on President Trump's life. We as a nation, man, we got some concerns. And I'm going to tell you, looking at this whole thing as President Trump's out there campaigning, as he's been convicted, as everything else has happened against this man, now it's kind of the final, feather in the cap, for lack of better terms, trying to take his life.
Yeah.
So what's next? Where's the next attempt going to be?
Yeah.
But I will tell you this. My man is resilient. For a 79-year-old man that just got clipped in the ear after an assassination attempt, next day he's out doing a round of golf. And, oh, by the way, he's not deterred. He's off to Milwaukee to go sit there and do another rally. So some concerning times, but overall, hey, man, it's always great to be an American. But this is where you, my fellow Americans, whether you're watching us or listening, thank you for giving us your most precious commodity. Guys, we got to be more active, right? And I'm not talking about hooping and hollering, burning stuff down. Here's the bottom line. We got to hold these elected officials accountable. You had 9 individuals that didn't want to grant President Trump his Secret Service protection detail. I think they need to be gone. You got 198 congressmen that voted against the SAFE Act that required you to be a U.S. citizen, show some proof of ID that you are a U.S. citizen in order to vote. Troubling times. The Dems have been sitting there pumping all this rubbish our way. And here's the thing. We can't fall for it. We can't fall for their propaganda. If you're going to sit there and be on socials and think you're going to get your information from there, here's the bottom line. If you're looking at Meta, if you're looking at mainstream media, if you're looking at Google, they're all manipulated by the Biden administration, right? Which is in complete violation of constitutional law because they're becoming state actors, basically. And as soon as you're a state actor, you are covered or you're required to act under constitutional law, which they're not. Musk is really the only one with X or Twitter, whatever you still want to call it, that's still keeping the free speech, because if you look at his platform, it's nothing about it's everything about the assassination attempt, and all these other ones are not. You got the mainstream media telling lies, going, oh, Trump fell. So again, they're trying to compare, oh, here's this old man falling down on stage, which he didn't, right? Man was shot by a bullet. And oh, by the way, this 79-year-old man overpowered his Secret Service detail to throw fist bumps out there. Not once, a couple different times, right? When he should have been in that limo, lickety split. So I would tell you this, my fellow Americans, you got to get on it, right? If you are one of those individuals that had one of those congressmen vote against SAFE Act, got to get rid of them, right? You got to get on the horn and say, hey, buddy, your time is done really over politics. You're going to sit there and go, our God-given right as Americans is to vote in our election via our constitutional republic. It's like, no way, man. Don't give that stuff up. We're not going to give it away. We already got illegals here, that little undercover footage, right? You might see it come out on one of these platforms we're on if it doesn't get pulled down, right? But you got illegals here in North Carolina registered to vote. So we got to get this stopped, guys, right? We are in some crazy times. Whenever we've got assassination attempts on presidential candidates, it's concerning.
Yeah.
Is it true? Go ahead.
And we want to be clear too that the actor, the individual, is responsible for this. Okay.
Oh.
No question.
Yep.
We're not blaming anybody else.
No.
However, exactly what you're speaking about, Rick, is when you start raising that political, that temperature
Mhm.
of divisiveness. People believe in separate things, totally polarized, right? And you start raising that temperature, and you start saying things, and
Mhm.
you start doing things like bad mouthing my man, taking my man to court, spreading lies, trying to get him convicted, then get
Mhm.
him convicted again. You keep doing this thing, trying to costing him hundreds of or tens of millions, not hundreds of millions of dollars. This is just a natural progression.
Mhm.
This isn't surprising that this has been escalating for a long time now. This isn't surprising to me. Is it
No.
shocking? Absolutely, absolutely.
Oh,
But
it
is it
it's
totally outside of the possibility? Hell no. I think it was an inevitability with the way that they talk, the far left radicals, they
mhm.
talk about it. They say things like he's Hitler.
Oh, yeah.
Fight for democracy. If he gets elected, it's going to be the end of democracy. There'll never be another election again.
Mhm.
It surprises you that one unhinged individual acts on that,
Yeah.
and it's all him. It's all him. No one, I'm not suggesting anything other than that. Criminals formerly with us. It's a damn shame, not, but that's him. He's responsible for that. But is it surprising? Absolutely not. Look what they tried to do to him. Look what they tried
Yeah.
to do to him. So I want you to go ahead and comment on that real quick, Rick.
No, they're just fanning the flames of hate, right? So they'll sit
Yep.
there and throw a pregnant woman, I think she was pregnant or had a newborn, right? Off a United flight because she didn't use proper pronouns for some
Mhm.
flight attendant.
Yeah.
Okay. But they'll compare him to Hitler. They'll sit there and go, hey, if he's voted in, he's the end of democracy. How many of these freaking elected officials have threatened some type of bodily violence against him?
Yeah.
Even the old freaking bumbling Joe, right? I'll take him behind the
Hmm.
woodshed and show him. No, you won't, dude. Right? You'll fall going to the woodshed.
Yeah.
But and we sit there and we're shocked. Right? I won't say we're shocked, right? But it's like it's okay if it comes from the left to go, hey, we should punch him in the face. He needs to be taken out, right? Like there's some no kidding threatening words being thrown out by people.
Look how Robert De
And
Niro talks about him every chance he gets.
oh, dude, they all do, right? They all
Yeah.
talk this. Really? So, okay, dopes, you're better off now than you were when he was in. And one point I got to bring up, right? You want to talk about sacrificing. My man lost $1 billion in assets when he served those 4 years. 1 billion. He took a $1 billion hit. Net worth went from 3.5 billion. I think it was like to 2.5 billion the 4 years he was in. $1 billion. When all these other cats, all these other recent presidents, right? Their net worth is always coming out ahead. But this guy takes
Some
$1
of
billion.
them over $100 million.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
old Barack pocketed 700 million
Oh,
rolling out of the White House.
damn.
Right? How does that happen? Yeah, we won't get into that. But anyway, my whole point being is the left is extremely afraid because we've already seen he's unfiltered, which that's the guy we need. But we had a booming economy when he was in. And my biggest concern is how many, dude, you got these libs out there. Oh, I can't believe this guy missed. I can't believe this, right?
Yeah.
What's going to be the repercussions? How many other idiots are going to get fired up and go, oh, so-and-so couldn't do the job? I'll do the job.
Yeah.
Right?
There was an aide, that congressional aide, that said, "Yeah, they too bad that guy didn't practice. He he won't miss next time or something like that." They got
Mhm.
They got fired. Okay, um, fine. But at the same time, those comments are all over the place. Of
Mhm.
course, you have the no gunners. Hey, it's all because they didn't have gun laws and all this other stuff. Those things are going to happen. But we're talking about someone trying to assassinate another human being and end up killing another one by
Yeah.
so none of this should be on the table. That first of all, political violence like this, the riots,
Mhm.
especially an assassination attempt, it's probably one of the most un-American things that you can do,
Yeah.
that we're a democracy.
It's third world country crap, right?
It's third world
That's what
country crap.
that's what you expect to see in some other country.
Yep.
Oh, you're my political opponent. Let me take you out. Right.
Yeah, that's
But
what Putin
not,
does. That's what Putin does.
yeah. Hey, man, you're going to go to the freaking, to Siberia, to the gulag for a while. Going away, going, see you later. Right. Or he's going to poison you with some freaking radioactive crap in your food or whatever he's going to have his little KGB studs doing. Right. Here's my point. We're better than that.
Yep.
But we're not, because the left is, just fanning all these flames, man, stirring stuff up, making all these stupid comments. And here's the deal. My fellow Americans, man, look at, if you're looking to these cats in Hollywood, old pedo central, for your guidance, for your direction, for your wisdom, I'm sorry, man. There's very few there that's worth the crap. Know about a handful, right? The rest of them, dude, piss on them. You got to look at your own values. And here's the bottom line. We're Americans, right? Where do we make the difference? We make it at the ballot box. We make it through free speech where we can debate our differences with our fellow Americans. We're not out there blatantly just murdering our opponents or trying to jail our opponents or do all this other crap. We're not going to sit there and have our voices silenced. And that's part of the whole reason for On the Range podcast, right? Was to be able to get our word out there. But we have to have that ability to be able to speak clearly, right? And here's the bottom line. This crap, like, I hate the word misinformation. Okay. Well, it's either the truth, it's fake, or a rumor, right? What's misinformation? It's called propaganda. And that's usually what the government's trying to pump down your throat currently. So don't be falling in for that trap, and don't use their words, right? So, like, I love when you go, oh, they're migrants. No, they're not. They're illegal aliens. They crossed illegally into this country. You don't get a buy, right? Don't be changing words. I forget what they call pedos, right? But pedos aren't even pedos anymore. You're going to give them some stupid other term, right? They're trying to dumb the American people down. And if we use this verbiage time over time over time, people are going to start believing it. How many times does CNN need to say that, Trump's Hitler before somebody goes, oh, yeah, that dude's Hitler? No, he's not.
Yeah, before someone takes him serious.
Exactly. Yeah. Right?
How long?
It's the propaganda machine. Yeah. And I'm sure I'm not a super propagandist. I don't know how many times you got to hear something before you believe it. And, granted, some people will do it easier than others, but my point being is we're at a very delicate point. But I think here's the thing. Everything what the left is doing is backfiring.
Yeah.
It's all, you try to convict him, dude. As soon as you just said he's guilty of 32 counts of felonious charges, whatever they were.
Yeah.
Nobody even knows what the charges were, right? Dude, you just put him in the White House. Now you got some. Go ahead.
That's a great point, because it's very, it's video, there's photos, there's audio of an assassination attempt. It's, it's shocking. It's not something that you see things happening like that here, right? So you see this go on. There's a piece of footage that Ben Shapiro was showing, and there's one camera guy as everybody's, coming out, stands up. Everybody's still on the ground. Mm-hmm. My man quite possibly takes the most iconic political photograph that has ever been taken in the history of the United States. And I'm going to tell you right now, if I was the Trump team, that image would be on every campaign t-shirt I have, every poster, every commercial. Go look. Everybody knows what photo I'm talking about. It's the one with him raising his face with the blood coming across his cheek and the American flag in the background. It's so iconic, and all those images and all these things, especially that photo, it's just so iconic that it literally is going to change how things are from this day forward. And you said it best. We're we needed that spark, but you said it before. We need that September 12th day again.
Yeah.
Buddy, that's today.
Yeah.
Buddy, that's today, because it is something that is going to unite the country with the way you can say a lot about the man. He could have acted any way and nobody would have said anything about him.
Mm-hmm.
But he stood up, wasn't going to be fettered. He just wasn't.
Yeah.
Wasn't going to let it happen.
No.
And it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable.
But here's the sad part with all that, Mark, right? That could have very easily been prevented.
I know.
Because let's be an honest broker. If we were to honestly take a look at history, you would have thought that when Barack Obama was in office, there would have been an assassination attempt against him, right? You would have thought, with as much as they want to say we're this racist country, right? And I'm just using the left's terms, you would have thought there would have been an attempt. But what negates those attempts is the security measures around that individual, which unfortunately yesterday were grossly lacking. One officer up in that roof would have prevented that whole thing from happening, right? But instead, whether you want to call it incompetence, whether you want to call it insider job, whether you want to call it whatever, only time will tell us.
Yeah.
The point being is that's how you prevent these catastrophic events from happening, is by having strong security. And we know for a fact that the left is afraid of him because he's not under their influence of whatever garbage all these politicians have on each other, whatever dirt they use to manipulate each other. Saw it when he was sitting there, putting his different tweets out there in the morning when he was up in the White House, whatever the case may be. My point being to all of this is we, as Americans, have to do a better job vetting the propaganda we're getting. I'm sorry, but, CNN constantly comparing him to Hitler, them trying to compare him to bumbling Biden, going, oh, he had to be escorted off by the Secret Service. Oh, Pops made him fall down. Oh, he fell down. No. Why did none of the mainstream media want to sit there and go, somebody tried to kill him? Right. And worse yet, another American tried to kill a presidential candidate. Oh, and former president. You can't forget that part, right? He's already had the job once. He's going for number 2. But my point being to all this is and I think that the spark has been done because people realized, what are you doing? Right? It's one thing to lose at the ballot box fairly, keyword being fairly. It's another thing to go, there's your political opponent, and let's go kill the man.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Trump's youngest son was there.
Mm-hmm.
What would have happened if that boy got clipped? Right? Because we basically had 2 of Trump's supporters. One was killed, catastrophic head injury, right? Nothing could happen to him. And another one was wounded. But I mean, this is the part we're talking about. We're talking about killing fellow Americans.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm surprised there wasn't more injured there, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And it saddens us. And this man who seemingly ultimately was protecting his family and was killed. It's just we can't forget about that an American was killed senselessly by someone who acted alone, as far as we know, but believing the rhetoric that people are saying on the radical left side that has just raised the temperature in the room extremely high, and he bought into it. And that evil person killed somebody and tried to kill the president. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Not
But
surprising though. Not
no, it's
surprising.
it with as much, and I hate to even use the word hate speech, right? Because what the hell is
Uh,
hate speech this day and age? It's such a twisted word.
yeah.
But with as much demonization as whether it's fellow politicians, whether it's mainstream media, whether it's people not being able to voice their opinion or wrongly voicing their opinion against this man, what's not to think that one of these, you know, not so uh, mentally strong individuals sits there and takes it and believes the propaganda and goes, well, I got to do
Yeah.
something about it.
Right.
Right. When you sit there and go, he's going to be the fall of our democracy. Well, no, we're a constitutional republic, but we won't get into that. Not even using the right verbiage there, peeps. But anyway, how much crap can somebody who's mentally unstable go, oh, he's going to end it all for us and believe it and then executes?
Yeah.
I mean, so my point being is, again, don't support this radical left agenda. We've got the ability to do it. And I think we're in the position where we're starting to see this astronomical swing to the right, where those that hated Trump, I mean, that's kind of the final straw. Okay, cool. You convict him for felonious charges, which still don't really know what those felonies were. But then you try to kill the man.
Yeah.
And he's still a father, right? He's still a husband. I mean, to kill another human being for what?
Yeah. I guess they didn't get the desired effect from all these charges. I don't know.
But
It's a natural progression to me.
but it's third world crap, right?
Oh, absolutely. So is
So if you
trying to
look at
jail
it,
your political opponents. You know what I mean?
you try to silence him. So you try
Yeah.
to pull all his social stuff.
Yep.
Okay, fine. He gets Truth Social and gets his own platform. Says, all right, hey, I'll still keep putting my word out there. All right. Then you sit there and convict him on 32 charges of what? I don't even know what the charges are, right? Like, I can't even go, I got nothing. And I don't think those that convicted him even knew what they were, right? Okay, that's fine. So that didn't work, because how are you going to put a former president, honestly, how are you going to put him in jail? Is he going to have, where's the Secret Service detail at? Right. Because he has a protective detail for life, right? It doesn't say if you're convicted of a felony and in
No.
prison that detail goes away. Do they stand outside his door? Are they armed? Are they not armed? I mean, what are we doing here, right? But that didn't work. So what? Now we're going to try to kill the man?
Yeah.
What's going to happen next? What's going to be the next attempt? I don't know. Is there another crazy bird out there that's, oh, that didn't work, right? And you got these libs that are freaking hot about it. Really? Yeah. Listen to me. You're aggravated or upset or hurt because a man wasn't murdered? What the hell is wrong with you people?
Yeah. There was some actress that was saying it was staged. Yeah. Tell that to the victim's family who didn't make it out.
Yeah.
Tell them it was staged. Yeah. The funny thing is they've tried to slander him. They tried to put him in jail. Now, someone who bought into their rhetoric tried to kill him. They did all these things. People are starting to realize, with the Hunter Biden stuff and the way Joe's been acting, it's very un-American.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't. What happened yesterday could not have made President Trump look more American than what happened after the fact. The way he acted, the way he responded, his messages to everybody in the family, his decision to say, you know what, I wasn't going to go to the RNC until Wednesday. I'm going today, bro. Those kind of things, that's American. And here's what he's making them look like.
And
American.
Even his actions, let's be an honest broker, right? Even his actions on that stage, right? My 79-year-old former president sat there and overpowered his protective service detail to fist bump the crowd and tell him to fight.
Yep.
Right. With blood
running
down.
USA.
Yep. Running down his face.
Yep.
Right. And then, oh, by the way, they still couldn't overpower him because when he got to the limo, he gave another fist bump.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what does not project more of an American image than that?
No.
So do you want the dude that's lapping on ice cream, falling down on his bike, can't climb up a set of stairs? Or do you want the powerhouse that just got freaking shot? And then, oh, by the way, my man's out playing golf the next day, right? Still going on his regular stuff, heading to Milwaukee, right? Like this didn't phase him.
How long before there's a meme where they put the Rocky music behind everything that he did on the way to the limo? How long do you think that'll take? A day? Probably already went out there.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
you could say a lot about the guy, but he's not doing it for vanity. He's not doing it for money. It's costing him money. He's doing it because I truly believe that he has a dedication to this country where he has been able to make money, allow other people to make money, employ so many people, and he knows how great it is, and he's fighting for it. He is fighting for it.
Yeah, and he's giving his money away. I mean,
yep.
At the end of the day, this man is a true patriot.
Mm-hmm.
With all, and his actions speak louder than his words, in my opinion.
They do.
And there's been some historical things that have been put out that it's not well prior to him even being or putting his hat in for running for election, right? Because people have asked him early on, like in the 80s, and he's even said, "Hey, politics, dirty business," right?
Yeah.
He's like, "I don't want to have to, but if I have to, I will." And that's
if
pretty
they
much
need
what
me,
he said
I'll
at the
do
debate.
it. If they need me, I'll do it.
Right? That's what he said at the debate. He's like, "I'm here because Bozo can't do it."
Yep.
Yeah, I got to step up to the plate.
Yeah.
Dude, you want to talk about a patriot? My man's it. So,
yeah, good show, man.
Yeah, buddy.
The crew members, you got some stuff at the beginning. Folks who are listening on the audio or at the today is Sunday, and what we're probably going to do is we're probably going to release this on Tuesday, maybe even tomorrow. I haven't decided yet because we want to keep current with some of this stuff. But if you want to get this bonus content, you got to go sign up for the crew. If you're not a member of the crew already, you go to warhog.com, go to kellydefense.com. There's a button where you can sign up. You can try it for free with all access packets for 7 days. But if you want the good stuff, you got to get the tier levels. And if you join the tier levels, you get Facebook groups, you get lives like this, you get all kinds of stuff. You get Zoom calls. We got one coming tomorrow. So if you try the free trial today, you'll be able to enjoy it on a Monday night. So anyway, great show. Crew members stand by. Anything else you want to say, Rick?
No, man. Biggest thing, keep your head up, my fellow Americans. You guys train hard, stay safe. We'll see you on the range, and God bless the United States of America.
On the Range Podcast. On the Range.